Who is this man? Well, if you're from Germany, you've probably seen this guy hundreds of times, because he's a very famous person from Germany. But if you're American, like a majority of my viewers are, then you've most likely never seen this man in your life. Now, today, why am I telling you about this? Well, you see, he is a very famous musician from Germany, going by the name H.P. Baxter. He's the lead singer, the lead everything from the band Scooter. Once again, why am I telling you this? Well, I think he, more than anyone else, has the most meme potential out of any German musician. Yes, there's not much competition there, but just trust me, just keep watching. I'm going to explain to you today why I think that you should make this man a meme. It all started one day in class, a little over a year ago, and we were supposed to be doing an assignment. I believe it was actually for a writing competition that I ended up winning, but we were supposed to do a writing assignment, and we were slacking off, as you do. And I was playing a game called Google Random Words and Hope You Don't Accidentally Find Pornography. And somehow I managed to Google the series of words, "How much is the fish?" And as it turns out, "How Much Is the Fish" is a Scooter song, and probably the most famous Scooter song. Have a listen.
The chase is better than the catch. Transforming the tunes. I want you back for the rhythm attack. Get down in full effect. I want you back for the rhythm attack. Coming down on the floor like a maniac. I want you shake, so clean up the dish. By the way, how much is the fish?
Yeah, I know, that was probably the most German thing you've ever seen. Also, if you think you've heard this song before, it's possible you have, because Jimmy Fallon actually featured "How Much Is the Fish" on his Don't Play This Song series.
Chase is better than the catch.
Chase is better than the cat.
Jimmy, why do you do this to yourself? Side note, H.P. Baxter actually made a response to that Jimmy Fallon clip, and it's one of the most confusing things I've ever watched.
Hi Jimmy, I'm H.P. Baxter from Scooter. Greetings from the party island Ibiza. Answering your questions, we bought the fish for our aquarium at the studio, but it was finally too loud. Now the fish lives on the countryside in an animal residence. We are still in close contact, something like pen friends. Last time it seemed quite busy because he told something about a Hollywood movie, Finding Dory or something. And about the price, it was $3.80. Wicked, thank you.
I'm not 100% sure how to interpret that. Alright, back on task. I got a little sidetracked there. So, I'm pretty sure after we found "How Much Is the Fish," the next song we found was "Call Me Mañana."
Mañana.
What's interesting about this song is the first few lyrics, which he actually sung in Spanish, roughly translate to, according to Google Translate, "The rocks, where you always went, tomorrow." I mean, I don't know what you expect from a German guy who primarily sings in English trying to sing in Spanish. But to be honest with you, lyrics like this don't really surprise me that much. And this brings us into the conversation, well, what's your average Scooter song like? Well, how about this? How about for the second part of the video, let's do a critical analysis of your average Scooter song. Step 1 in replicating a Scooter song. take someone else's song, which is probably far better, and then abuse it. You have either one of two options here. Option number one, just take the chorus of that song, speed it up, and then add some really loud techno music over it. This is what most Scooter songs are like, and you can find it in The Logical Song. Or his most recent song, Which Light Switch is Which? Yes, that's the real name. Or, of course, you have option number two, which is just to take the general tune of the song you're stealing. Like in his song One Always Hardcore, he takes Alive from Pearl Jam. Or, in my personal favorite song, Behind the Cow, he not only takes a song called Don't Fear the Reaper, but he uses, no shit, the Song of the South. Take a listen.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day.
Also, not only does this song have one of the best Scooter music videos, but it also features a guest appearance from the New York rapper Fat Man Scoop.
Introducing Mr. Fat Man Scoop! Yeah! What's up, what's up, what's up? Fat Man Scoop, rock the jam, once again. Fat Man Scoop, rock the jam, once again. Scooters in the hands up, Scooters in the hands up, B's in the pull 'em up, HB's in the here we go!
Okay, and one last thing before I leave Behind the Cow. I found this one comment on Behind the Cow, and it's probably one of the best things I've ever read. So like I just said, just found this comment, and it's honestly, it's heavy, man. It's one of the most touching things I've ever read. And it's obviously referring to the music video for Behind the Cow. At first when I saw this, I was like, oh great, another shitty music video of the band and random people dancing. But as the video continued, and I kept on watching, I saw something else. I saw people from two different sides of the world with two completely different ways of life coming together and having fun. I saw human beings getting together to be so involuntarily human, despite the massive cultural and geographical divide that exists. Viewing it in this way made it seem less like a music video and more like a celebration. Who would have thunk it? Truly beautiful. I think H.P. Baxter clearly deserves all the credit for this amazing, touching moment. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Step 2! Just come up with a chorus that is really, really short, that you can shout very loudly and say very quickly, and try your best to shove that into the song as many times as possible to give it some sort of substance.
I want you back for the rhythm attack, coming down on the floor like a maniac. I want you back for the rhythm attack, get down in full effect. I want you back for the rhythm attack, coming down on the floor like a maniac. Rock in the business, so come on and check this. Get up tonight, we gonna make it right. Rock in the business, so come on and check this. Get up tonight, we gonna make it right. Rock in the business, so come on and check this. Get up tonight, we gonna make it right. Rock in the business, so come on and check this. Somebody, somebody, do not, somebody, do not, hey. I wonderful day, I wanna say what's on your way. Somebody, somebody, do not, somebody, do not, hey. Say what's on your
This is probably the most common aspect found in your average Scooter song, even more common than the sped up voices, which is what a majority of the newer songs tend to have. But that raises the question, what do you use to fill in the gaps? I mean, you can't just have a song with 2 choruses. Well, that brings us to the final step, step 3. Just say random stuff. Now, sometimes he'll go on a rant about partying, dancing, raving, but a majority of the time, whatever he's saying makes absolutely no sense. For example, in the Logical song, twice he just kinda goes on a rant about Siberia.
Peace and unity. Siberia, the place to be. Siberia!
I don't know, man. Contrary to popular belief, Siberia might not be the place to be. Especially considering you're German. At the very least, you're not a Nazi, so you won't get sent to a prisoner of war camp. At least, I didn't think you're a Nazi until, well, you know what? We'll get to that later. Some other great examples of these lyrics are at the very start of One Always Hardcore.
I am the horseman. I'm mentally mad. I'm a super sharpshooter. Sitting on the rooftop.
And the sheer existence of how much is the fish and which light switch is which basically prove my point that nothing he says makes any sense. And I hope by explaining to you what his average song is like, I've convinced you that we can make this man a meme. He has the meme potential. But if that didn't convince you, let's look at some other stuff. See, what does he do when he's not making songs? Well, let's see. He has an Instagram where, to say the least, some of his posts are questionable. I mean, here he is standing next to his Rolls Royce, looking like both a 50-year-old German techno star and a 30-year-old lesbian somehow at the same time. This one just looks like a watermelon's wet dream. I can't say I've ever seen a man look as petrified as H.P. Baxter does as he's about to drink a cup of coffee. This picture was captioned, "Harvey always wearing crazy outfits. I told him he can't go out like this," and it's just a picture of a brick wall. I mean, you can dig for hours on this guy. He has a TikTok, he's done dozens of interviews, all with their own interesting moments.
Sri, los geht's.
I read spits for the hits with
Mit dem Ding!
With a robotic, narcotic in the pocket. The fire rocket, blood socket, I crack whip. Yeah. Cleopatra like Cleopatra. Pick it.
Sehr
I don't know packets, la playa packets, I quit, whip, yeah.
Woo, 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 woo.
Donaga viva patois.
Is that what it takes to be famous? He's got all sorts of other music videos and songs that I didn't even talk about. Like, he's covered White Wedding. This guy is genuinely crazy, and there's so much that I'm not even going to begin to talk about in this video. I do want to end it off with one thing. You see, when I first showed my father one of his songs, he said he's probably a blonde-haired, okay, German, obviously, who jumps around the stage. It's not a stage, but fair enough. and he's also a Nazi. Now, I just said, no, of course he's not a Nazi. How funny would that be? How if he's actually a Nazi? Not all Germans are Nazis. Well, you see, one day while I was doing one of these very intricate H.P. Baxter deep dives, the day I actually came across that Jimmy Fallon clip, well, I saw something. I saw something in the comments, and it was just a series of words. Was wollen wir trinken? Now, I'm avoiding playing this song for too long because I don't want this video to get taken down my YouTube. Now, it's certainly going to get copyright claimed, but I don't want the video to get taken down altogether. Now, why would that song get my video taken down? Well, this was a very touchy song to research. There's a whole bunch of contradicting reports, mostly by a lot of racists. But the general consensus seems to be that this is a song honoring the German army who died for the Reich. Yes, and if this song sounds familiar, let me replay a clip from How Much Is the Fish?
Just the fish. Here we go, here we go, here we go again.
And on that note, I think that's where I'm going to end this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you continue to research Scooter and H.P. Baxter, as the band and the man are both very interesting and also mildly concerning. This video was probably one of the videos I've put the most work into, so if you want to share it with anyone, give it a like, anything, that would be greatly appreciated, since, like I said before, I put a lot of work into it. But that is it. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!